Alright guys, welcome back to Death from Above 40k, and today I'm going to be talking about the new army I'm starting, a little bit of tips, tactics, and the beginning of what I've done. So, over the last week, and about probably 10 days, we'll go with 10 days, I've painted up what you can see in front of me. So this is the beginning of my Grey Knights list. So I'm going to be doing this in a few parts, so I'll go over this start point, and then I'm going to add things in each week that I've painted, and I'm going to go over them, eventually culminating in a 1500 point list that's all done, painted, and put together, you know, piece by piece, so you can sort of follow along. So the first thing that I'll go over is, well, the first thing I'll cover is if you're a Grey Knights like player and you know you're an Unreal player, you smash tournaments and everything in that, you may not even need to watch this. We'll just see how you go. You might pick something up, but you probably already know most of it, so take it easy on me in the comments if I don't go so well, because I'm sort of new to this army. I really like the army, so that I've chosen to play it based on models. So first things first, we'll just go over. So, you know, army-wide rules for the Grey Knights are, you've got Brotherhood of Psykers, which gives them +1 to their psychic rolls and +1 to their deny the witch rolls. So they're good psykers. Pretty much every unit in the codex is a psyker. And the other one is Knights of Titan, which gives them objective secured. So to start with, the 3 units that I have, and I have painted up, I have a lot more, I've got a whole heap, but this is what I've got so far, is an Interceptor squad, Master Voldus, and then I've gone with a Venerable Dreadnought with the Daka, so the auto cannon arms. Alright, so what I'll do is, I'm going to go through each of these units that I've got so far, tell you a little bit about why I've chosen them, what I'm going to do with them in the battlefield as a support role, and then, as I said, what they're going to be doing later on as this army grows. Alright, so we'll start with the HQ. Alright guys, so this is the first HQ that I decided to add to the list, paint up and put together. So this is Grandmaster Voldus. So I took my time painting this guy. I'm super happy with how he come out. He's got his little book, all these different things. His little storm bolter. I've given him sort of glowing eyes to represent that he's you know, a psyker. And then he's also got his little base that I've based him up on. I've sort of gone for a bit of a city/urban theme. So let's go over why I have chosen to put in Master Voldus. So to start with, he's a really good psyker. So anyone that plays Grey Knights will know that this guy's a really good psyker. So he can cast and deny 3 psychic powers each turn, which got me straight off the bat. He's a 6 wound, 2-up save sort of a guy. He's got 5 attacks. You know, hits and ballistic skills all 2+, so good across the board. You know, his long range gun is a storm bolter, but he'll always be getting 4 shots, hitting on 2s, re-rolling 1s. Because his other rule is he's also like a, you know, like a captain, but it's called Rites of Battle here. So you re-roll 1s for friendly models within 6. So he's really the combination of psyker, captain, beat stick, everything in one. I think he only comes in at 153 points, so I looked at it, I thought that's a steal. The next thing that got me was he's got a Thunderhammer, and the Thunderhammer is called Malleus Agrium. I could have said that wrong. If I did, don't destroy me in the comments. Just help me with my pronunciation. Come on, guys. So this is pretty much just a Thunderhammer, but it's a relic Thunderhammer by the sounds things. But it doesn't have the neg 1 to hit. So with this Thunderhammer, he's going to be hitting on 2s, re-rolling 1s. So he's pretty much always going to hit. So he's got 5 attacks, and then now with the new rules, he's going to get an extra 1 when he charges. So that's really, really good. So 6 Thunderhammer attacks. I could see him just smashing through tanks and things like that with pretty good ease. The next thing that bolsters that up is psychic powers. Now, I had a good think about this, and I want him to be sort of a support character to the army. He can get in combat and do his thing, but I really want him to be a support character. So the things I've given him is Gate of Infinity, Hammerhand, and Sanctuary. So I'm thinking more that he'll be casting these on other things. If he needs to cast them on himself, he can. So with Gate of Infinity, he can either zip around the board himself or zip something else around the board. It's pretty much an on-battlefield deep strike that you can do any turn of the game. Obviously this is psychic power, so it can only be cast one per turn, so you've got to use it. You know, you can't just go willy-nilly shooting people around. You've got to have a good think about it. The other one is Hammer Hand. So if he uses it on himself, most of the time his Thunderhammer will always be wounding on 3s and a lot of the time on 2s, which is brilliant as well. And then Sanctuary, which gives +1 to invulnerable saves. So he's a real support character / beat stick / just generally awesome model. So there he is, Chapter Master, or sorry, not Chapter Master, Grandmaster Voldus. So the thing I'm thinking is down the track is he will be supporting my Nemesis Dread Knight to cast all the powers on him and then send him across the battlefield through the warp to pop out the other end and beat the snot out of stuff. So at this point, that's pretty much him covered. So I'm really happy with how he's come out, and I think he's going to be a great support character. If anyone's got any feedback on this guy, let me know how you use him. Alright, next up we'll get on with the fast attack choice that I've chosen. Alright guys, so here's my first fast attack option. So this is an Inscepter squad. They're pretty much the exact same thing as Grey Knight troops, except they're a fast attack slot and they're jump infantry. They're a little bit in a tricky spot. They're not jump infantry with the fly keyword. They just have a 12-inch movement and nothing gets in their way, as in vertical movements ignored, and things that are in their way they just pass through as they teleport. The thing that really got me with this unit is they get a shunt. So on the first turn you can have them hidden somewhere and then they can just be removed from the battlefield and put in front of someone 9 inches away off the first turn. So that's really good. It's only once per battle they can do that. Obviously you've got Gate of Infinity if it needs to be done again, which is probably the power I'll give these guys in case I need to zip them to an objective or something like that. Those sorts of things. Now, weapons wise, I've gone with 4 of them with falchions and storm bolters, and 1 with the Nemesis Demon Hammer and Storm Bolter. So I'm planning to add a couple more units to these guys in. If you've watched my video on my Space Wolves, this is going to be a bit similar, where I can't find a good use for the troops. Like sometimes objective security is just not enough to sell it for me, and this army is one of those cases again. So I'd rather take like a Vanguard detachment or something, you know, go down that sort of path. So the whole idea of these is they're going to be able to move really fast, get around the battlefield. Now with the falchions are AP2, it gives them an extra attack. So then they come with 2 attacks on the charge, they'll have 3 attacks. So that's quite good. So 3 attacks each on the charge with AP2 power weapons. Now all of the close combat weapons in this army are falchions, halberds, everything, a D3. So anything going through, you're going to be putting hurt on things. It's really good, I really like it. The storm bolters, you know, if you're going to fly across the battlefield, jump out in front of someone, you're going to be able to unload all your shots rapid fire. You can sit still and, you know, use the bolter drill. I don't think this will be something I'll be doing. I'll be trying to get up in the grill, firing off a heap of shots. Now, there is some stratagems that work well with these guys in terms of their storm bolters. So I was thinking of making one of the units a 10-man unit, because it costs 2 command points, which a lot of people say is overpriced, but I think it's, you know, it is what it is. There's no point complaining about it. You're better off just going with it. So that is, give me a second here, I'm trying to find it. What it pretty much does is makes their storm bolters heavy bolters. So it turns their, oh, here it is, Cybolt ammunition. I should have known that. Last edition it was just a 10-point upgrade to make them strength 5. In this one, so it adds +1 to the strength of the weapon of the bolt gun and +1 AP. So your storm bolter will be a 4-shot heavy bolter. Now if you've got a 10-man unit of these, that's 40 heavy bolter shots for 2 command points. I think if you're going to use this, because it is 2 command points, bigger squads. If you've only got small squads, 20 heavy bolter shots is still good, but 40 is better. So, you know, maybe have a think about that when you're making your squads. Make one 10-man squad to teleport in front of someone and just unload absolute dagger. You could take down vehicles with that. You could take down heavy infantry, whatever you want. Strength 5, AP 1 is really good middle of the road. So that's what I'll be looking to do with them. For now, I'm thinking another 5-man unit like this, exactly the same, and then a 10-man unit with the halberds. The reason I want to do a 10-man unit with the halberds is the halberds are strength 5, so they'll be more my monster vehicle hunting thing. You know, put hammerhand on them. These guys will be more objective clearing and just general chop. So that's the first of 3 units that I want to put in the army. As I said, it'll probably be one 10-man and another 5-man. I think they're really good, fast moving, good stratagems, good DACA. The one thing is, they are Marines, they die like Marines. Hence why I want to be able to hide them, then teleport out. I want to make sure I get the drop on the enemy, not the enemy getting the drop on me. Alright, so that's that unit. I'll go on with my elite choice. Alright guys, here is the 3rd unit that I've painted for the army, and when I was looking over the list, there's a few things that I always take into consideration when making a list. So one of the things is being able to hit things from out of line of sight. Now it's a psychic power in this army that does that, but you also want the equivalent weaponry to be able to match that. So the thing that I thought for really good backline firepower was a venerable dreadnought with 2 twin-linked autocannons. Really good, just sort of all-round gun. It's 8 shots that he gets. Strength 7, AP 1, flat 2 damage. Now that's pretty good. Making him venerable means that he'll be hitting on 2 ups. So that's really good accuracy as well. Now this gun's good for pretty much hunting anything. The only thing it's ever going to struggle against obviously is if something's tough 8, you're going to need 5s to wound. It's not the end of the world because volume of shots is what gets through, and flat 2 damage is really good. So the psychic power is what makes this. It's called Astral Aim. So the reason I've chosen Astral Aim, because what it does is it means that you can target a unit that is out of line of sight. Another bonus is to it also ignores cover. So perfect examples that come to mind is someone's got Hellblasters sitting up the back, they've got them sitting in cover, really annoying. You cast Astral Aim, you're getting 8 shots. Now if they're near Voldus or the Grand Nemesis Dreadnought, you're going to get reroll 1, so hitting on 2 is rerolling 1, so you're probably going to get all 8 hits. Wounding on 3s, you're going to ignore the cover and cause AP 1, which is going to make them have to take a 4-up save, flat 2 damage. I've been doing some play testing, you bowl over an average of 3 to 4 per turn. Now there are some givens where people could have feel no pain or something like that, throws mass out a bit, but just on general. Vehicles that are, you know, tough 6, tough 7, this just shreds into them. As I said, been doing some play testing with it. The whole idea too is, going back to that thing again of there's certain things in armies that need to be removed. Let's think Astra Militarum with their pesky mortar teams. Now you're going to hit them with this, you know, they've got a 3-man mortar team, done the mass, you're going to be wiping out a mortar team per round, so 3 guys, because they're, you know, they're 2 wounds. They've got a 5-up save, you ignore the cover, so you're going straight to a 6-up save, 8 shots. You're going to be deleting those mortar teams, which is the thing, you know, you're going to help protect your troops from just getting pesky high volume amounts of strength 4 shots that if you've gone up against things like that, they're very annoying, and they usually hide them so you can't see them. So that's where this is going to come in line. That's part of his role. Another thing is too, going back to it again, it's part of the meta. Riptides with their drones, you know, they hide the drones, cast the Astral Aim and just blow those suckers out of their socks with your auto cannons. You know, that's why I've gone for the volume of shots. Other people have said put the 2 las cannons and then 2 auto cannons. I just want multiple, like mass DACA. If I want to remove tanks and stuff, everything's going to have thunder hammers. That's where my anti-tank will come. This is backline support. You know, clearing chaff, getting rid of things like Hellblasters, removing mortar teams and similar things. You know, maybe even killing a whirlwind that's annoying me. You know, get rid of their line of sight shooting vehicles and stuff like that, so that, you know, you've got that advantage. So that's why I've chosen him. I have got his other arms as well, so his arms come off so I can swap them around. So with the play testing, I'm happy with this. You can only cast Astral Aim once, so I'm probably only going to have one of these in the list. If I do have another one, I'm thinking maybe an Assault Cannon and a Power Fist, something along those lines, maybe a Heavy Flamer, so I can teleport him across the battlefield and smash him into something. Just because it's about half the price of a Nemesis Dreadnought, but then again, it's just probably half as good. So, that's that unit. So, I'll go back to the army and give a bit of a summation. Alright guys, so that's the 3 units that I got painted up and ready to go so far. So this comes in at roughly 500 points. So they are a bit of a pricey army, but I like my elite army, so it don't bother me none. So as I said, quick go over. Support guy that can hammer, bit of anti-tank if you need it. Remembering that anything in this army can teleport around to where it needs to be, so movement's not the issue. He's going to play a bigger role later on too as I add the units in as these videos go on. You'll see why I've chosen the powers I have, the roles are going to play, the support, all that sort of stuff, and we'll go from there. These guys are pretty much going to be my troops. They're not troops, but they're going to fill that sort of role of the troops in the army I don't think are very good, so these are going to get in there. Have them on the battlefield turn 1 and they can still deep strike from the battlefield, kind of like what Necrons do. That's what I want. You know, I can picture having, you know, 3 10-man units of these and a Nemesis Dreadnought turn 1 just appear right in front of someone's face, just unload a heap of Dakar, charge in, chop them up. Could be on the cards, but you have to keep watching the videos. And then we've got fire support. As I said, removing things that are threats that may be out of line of sight, all those sort of, you know, things like that. Just extra shots. It's always good to have range, always good to have something that can shoot out of sight. So this is the start of the army. Hopefully this has been helpful for people who are thinking of starting Grey Knights or just want a different look at it or something. If I've covered something that someone else has covered, well, that happens. You know, there's only so many variations in armies. And I'll get back to the painting table, and I've got a heap of other stuff assembled that I'm painting at the moment. Get that ready and upload the part 2 next week. Alright guys, if you like this, like and subscribe. If you like Grey Knights, you got feedback, talk to me about it. Love to have a chat, love to hear your thoughts on things, and we'll go from there. Alright.